Hey, how's it going? And welcome to the show. And today we're going to be discussing portable water filtration and purification systems, how they work, their pros and cons, along with the importance of treating your drinking water while out in the backcountry. So, let's get started. Now, before we get into it, I just want to stress how important treating your drinking water truly is. Water sources from all around the world, from the clearest, most pristine lakes to dark, murky swamp water, are all host to a plethora of microscopic life forms, with many being potentially harmful to humans, even life-threatening. Waterborne diseases, usually caused from the drinking of unsafe water, affects millions of people worldwide, killing 1.5 million each year. These infections can manifest in a wide variety of ways, from an array of bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, or cholera, to viruses like Norwalk and hepatitis A or E, along with intestinal protozoan parasites like Giardia or Cryptosporidium, just to name a few. Now, to quickly put all this into perspective, each of the various types of microorganisms are all distinct from each other, in that as biological pathogens, they have varying strategies, life cycles, and most importantly, are vastly different in order of size and magnitude. This will ultimately factor into what gear you choose to treat your drinking water, as bacteria and protozoan cysts that develop into parasites range in size from 0.2 to 3 microns, whereas viruses are much smaller, usually ranging from 0.02 to 0.1 microns. This is where the distinction between a water filter and purifier comes into play. So, let's get to it. Water filters clean dirty water into safe drinking water by removing impurities through a variety of filtration methods, with the most common portable options being hand pumps and gravity filters. When used properly, they can prevent infection by filtering out bacteria, protozoa, and microbial cysts, along with any debris or sediment, leaving you with clean, fresh-tasting drinking water. Now, in regards to quality of filtration, the various different options are generally compared based on speed of treatment, filter lifespan, and level of separation, usually represented in microns, with most portable water filters on average filtering down to 0.2 microns, small enough to protect you from harmful bacteria and parasites, but not viruses. Now, this is more than sufficient for use in northern or temperate regions, as viruses aren't really much of a concern in the north, at least here in Canada. Hand pumps, like the MSR Mini Works, are small, lightweight water filters that function by pumping water directly from a natural source through the pre-filter, up the intake hose, then through a ceramic filter and out the bottom. The Mini Works also attaches directly to all MSR dromedary bags, along with wide-mouth Nalgene bottles for convenience, but can still be used with others if you hold it steady above the bottle. It has a filter life of 2,000 liters before needing a replacement and pumps approximately 1 liter of water per minute. But if it starts to slow down, then it's likely you will need to clean the filter. Now, this is fairly easy to do. This is done by unscrewing the top, pushing the filter out from the bottom, and then scrubbing the filter clean. I find the filter can get dirty very quickly, especially in murky water, often needing to be cleaned every couple liters or so, which after a while can get tiresome in my opinion, especially with large groups. Gravity filters like the Platypus 4-liter Gravity Works filter function by filling up the dirty reservoir from a natural water source, then hanging it up in a tree around camp, allowing gravity to force the water out of the dirty reservoir, down the hollow fiber filter, and into the clean reservoir, leaving dirt and other impurities in the dirty bag with fresh, clean drinking water in the clean bag. All in all, it's very convenient and requires very little effort to process a lot of drinking water using this method. No pumping required. The Platypus Gravity Works filters 1.75 liters per minute, has a lifespan of 1,500 liters, and is easy to clean in the field. This is accomplished by backflushing the filter, changing the direction of water flow for several seconds, removing impurities in the filter by allowing clean water to run back through it in the opposite direction, back into the dirty bag. This will maintain flow rate, filter performance, and keep it working at an optimal level. I'd recommend backflushing the filter every 8 liters or so, but this may need to be done more frequently in murky water. Now, I can't talk about water filters without at least mentioning the LifeStraw system, which in many ways functions very much like most gravity filters, as it also uses a hollow fiber filter, but instead of gravity, it uses suction, allowing the user to drink directly from a natural source. LifeStraw also offers various other filtration options, including water bottles with hollow fiber filters built into the mouthpiece, allowing the user to fill up their bottle from a natural source, then filtering the water as they drink, or gravity filters like the LifeStraw Flex with Gravity Bag, which in my mind are a lot more viable for canoe tripping as they process a lot more water with less effort than the LifeStraw bottles or the standard straw. When choosing which type of filter suits your needs best, there are a few things you may want to consider. Water pumps are generally better for on-the-go use, as they can be quickly pulled out and used to fill up water bottles almost anywhere easily. Gravity filters, on the other hand, are much more convenient as they can process a lot more drinking water with minimal effort, but are generally less versatile in the long run. I find that gravity filters are ideal for use around camp or for large groups, whereas water pumps are preferable for solo use or for small groups, with the basic life straw being more of a backup in my opinion. Now, in regards to using water filters in colder conditions, it's best to be cautious as most water filters aren't freeze resistant. So, if you decide to do so, empty out all the water prior to storage and be careful to not let the water filter freeze overnight. Water purifiers differ from filters as they go one step further by eliminating harmful viruses as well as bacteria and parasites. There's a lot of variation in regards to the different types of water purification methods, some of which will make the water sterile but will not remove sediment or other debris from the water, while others will perform the duties of both a water filter and purifier by filtering down further, generally to 0.02 microns, small enough even for viruses. Now, throughout history, the age-old tried-and-true method has always been to boil your water thoroughly, and you'll generally always use this method for cooking and for making tea or coffee while out on trip. You can't really go wrong with this method, as boiling water to a rolling boil will kill any microorganisms living inside it. As a general rule of thumb, while out in the backcountry, if you're ever unsure if your water is sanitary, boil it. Now, on another note, you can also do this with snow in winter conditions to purify water. When winter camping, this should be your primary method of water purification, as boiling water doesn't lower your body temperature. Most portable UV purifiers are advertised more for travel in regions where the tap water is questionable, and these devices are a common sight in restaurants in the developing world. They can also be used in conjunction with the filter to purify it after it's already been filtered, making for a great addition on trips in more tropical regions. You can also purify water by chemically treating it with purification tablets like Aquatabs or via chemical solution like Pristine. Aquatabs or other purification tablets will generally use iodine or chlorine, whereas Pristine will use two different chemical compounds, which when combined together will create non-explosive chlorine dioxide. Both will sterilize water effectively, but I find they leave an unpleasant taste to varying degrees and do not remove any of the floating debris. With Aquatabs, it generally takes about 45 minutes for one tablet to purify 1 liter of water, and with Pristine, it takes about 5 minutes to prepare the chemical solution, with it visibly turning yellow when ready. Then, it takes approximately 15 minutes to purify your drinking water. The amount of mixture used will depend on how much water you want to purify. Read and follow the label for instructions, but for 1 liter, a couple of drops of both parts A and B in one of the caps is generally sufficient. It is also worth noting that UV or chemical treatment is effective against protozoan parasites, bacteria, and viruses, but they are not always effective against resilient multicellular parasites like hookworm or roundworm. Boiling is effective as well as standard filtration methods due to their relatively larger size. Now, when it comes to portable water purifiers that do it all in regards to both water filtration and purification, it again comes down to water purifying hand pumps like the MSR Guardian or gravity purifiers like the LifeStraw Mission. Both these devices will truly clean the filthiest water, filtering down to 0.02 microns, small enough for viruses, allowing the user to collect safe drinking water directly from natural sources all around the world. The MSR Guardian is a truly excellent piece of equipment. It uses an advanced hollow fiber membrane to filter out the tiniest microscopic particles. It also has a very fast flow rate, pumping 2.5 liters per minute, along with having a filter lifespan of 10,000 liters before needing replacement. The MSR Guardian, originally developed to purify water for the US military, has a robust design as it is fall resistant up to 6 feet to concrete, and in colder conditions is the only portable purifier that is freeze resistant as long as you empty all the water out of the pump prior to storage. In regards to upkeep, this purifier requires very little maintenance or cleaning, as it backflushes 10% of its water intake back through the filter as you pump. This means you almost never need to clean the filter itself, but from time to time you will still need to clean the pressure relief valve. To do so, remove the relief valve assembly by pushing and rotating it with a coin, by hand or with a multi-tool. Pull out the relief valve assembly and then thoroughly rinse it out, along with the relief valve cavity within the pump itself with clean water to remove any debris inside. This will maintain performance, keep it running smoothly, and prevent pressure from building up inside the device. There are also portable gravity purifiers like the LifeStraw Mission. It is a high-volume water purifier, processing up to 12 liters of water at a time. It functions very much like its gravity filter counterparts, but filters down even further through its hollow fiber membrane to remove viruses as well. The LifeStraw Mission has a filter lifespan of 18,000 liters, but as a drawback, it filters water very slowly, approximately 9 to 12 liters per hour. The LifeStraw Mission is easily cleaned by backflushing it. This is done by closing the clean and dirty taps, then squeezing the red backflush bulb 3 times. Then, by opening the dirty water tap and letting it flush out. Now, in regards to removing harmful chemicals from the water, none of them will do so. Some of them may claim to reduce chemicals, especially in regards to taste, but it's generally always good to be prudent. Avoid collecting water from chemically tainted sources, and do not use your water filter or purifier to treat salt water, as this will rapidly destroy the filter. In the end, everyone's water treatment needs are all different, and what gear you choose will make all the difference. For most people paddling in Canada and in the US, a water filter of any kind will most certainly do. Whether it be a pump or a gravity filter, that's up to you. If you do a lot of travel, especially in places in the developing world, but don't need a filter to clean water from a natural source, then a UV purifier like a SteriPen would do you well. And if you want something that'll do it all with ease, then a purifier like the MSR Guardian or LifeStraw Mission will definitely do the job for you. Personally, I used the MiniWorks for years and have been through thick and thin with it. It's very easy to use and is extremely reliable while out in the field, as long as you maintain it. But now that the filter is almost at its end, I've switched over to the Guardian, and to tell you the truth, it's hard to ever want to go back, as the MSR Guardian really is that much more of a pleasure to use than the MiniWorks. It doesn't ever feel like a chore as it pumps water very quickly, provides a much higher level of filtration, while also backflushes itself during regular use, preventing me from having to clean the filter all the time. Gravity filters, like the Platypus Gravity Works, are also great and I like them a lot, especially in group settings. But to tell you the truth, I still prefer my MSR Guardian, as it is that much more versatile, and because I do a lot of late season canoe tripping, I really do appreciate the added freeze resistance, as it can get fairly cold up here in the north.
Well, thanks again, everyone. Hope this was helpful. Have a good one and get out there and explore.
If you enjoyed this content, give it a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more Tripping Authority videos.